Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
In a darkened hall, shadows flickered as torches lined the walls, casting an eerie glow over the tense standoff. Thomas's face turned a deep shade of crimson, a mix of disbelief and anger contorting his features. He had always known Zane Martel to be formidable, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. With just a single move, Zane Martel had obliterated his attack, leaving Thomas powerless and stunned. How could Zane Martel have grown so strong, so quickly? Thomas chuckled bitterly, shaking his head at his own folly. Despite being a high-ranking official within the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, he had let an extraordinary talent slip through his fingers.
Zane Martel, you've surpassed me. I can't even come close to matching your strength.
Thomas understood the reality of the situation with just one clash. Even if he used every ounce of his power, it would be a futile effort, possibly costing him his life. There was no way he could face Zane Martel in battle.
Thomas, what are you doing? As the leader of the Five Spirits sect, how dare you concede so easily? Do you want me to strip you of your title?
Thomas merely shrugged. His position as sect leader was little more than a facade, a role he had considered abandoning for some time.
Go ahead, remove my title if you must.
Madame Tina's eye blazed with fury at Thomas's insubordination. She had not anticipated such blatant defiance and betrayal.
You dare!
Zane Martel couldn't help but smirk at the scene unfolding before him. He turned his sharp gaze toward Madame Tina.
So, Madame Tina, all you can do is talk? Even your own subordinates don't respect you.
Madame Tina's face turned an even deeper shade of gray at Zane Martel's provocation.
What did you say? You're just in the advanced level. What gives you the right to judge me?
I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. Fight me in the next round.
The words hit the air like a thunderclap, reverberating through the hall and sending a ripple of shock through the onlookers, including members of the formidable Dark Wolf army.
Is Zane Martel really going to fight Madame Tina? Isn't that too reckless?
Can someone in the advanced level really stand a chance against the expert level?
I don't care if he wins or loses. Zane Martel's got guts. I respect that.
On the Dark Wolf Army's flying shuttle, Gavin Owens and his comrades exchanged uneasy glances. The impending duel had left them unsettled.
Your Highness, isn't Zane Martel being too rash? He's challenging someone far more powerful. Shouldn't we intervene?
Before Bo Thompson could respond, Elora stepped forward, her eyes filled with unwavering faith.
I believe in Zane Martel. He wouldn't speak unless he knew he could back it up.
Bo Thompson nodded, her eyes reflecting the same certainty.
Young Master Zane Martel has performed miracles before. I trust him completely.
The atmosphere thickened as the two women stood together, their faith in Zane Martel undeniable, yet the silent tension between them palpable. They were the two most enchanting women in the Dark Wolf Army, their beauty a stark contrast, yet both captivated by the same man. Elora's ethereal beauty and innocence made her seem untouchable, a perfect match for Zane Martel. Bo Thompson, with her striking curves and quiet allure, had spent more time by Zane Martel's side than anyone else. Despite the unspoken rivalry, their mutual respect for Zane Martel bound them together in this moment of crisis. Gavin Owens coughed, breaking the awkward silence that had settled over the group.
All right then, we'll wait and see. If Zane Martel's in real danger, we'll step in. Agreed, Senior Gabriel Stone?
Gabriel Stone, ever the enigmatic figure, nodded with an air of casual detachment.
Of course.
Since revealing his extraordinary strength, Gabriel Stone had earned a new level of respect from Gavin Owens and the others, who now deferred to him as a senior, acknowledging his unparalleled cultivation. As the tension in the air thickened, the question loomed over everyone's mind. Would Zane Martel's daring challenge lead to his ultimate triumph, or was he on a path to inevitable destruction? The stakes had never been higher, and as the next round approached, the hall buzzed with anticipation. All eyes were on Zane Martel. Would he defy the odds once again, or would he fall to the might of the expert level? The answer would come soon, but for now, the air was thick with uncertainty and the taste of imminent battle. The tension in the air crackled like a live wire, drawing everyone's attention to the confrontation between Zane Martel and Madame Tina. The hall was filled with murmurs and gasps. As Zane Martel's challenge echoed through the space.
What did you say? You want to fight me? Ha ha, what a joke. Why do you think I will fight you?
Zane Martel stood his ground, his eyes locked onto Madame Tina's. Her laughter was harsh, filled with disdain.
Are you saying you won't fight me? Or you don't dare to fight me?
How dare you? You're only in the advanced level. How dare you challenge me? A cultivator in the expert level? Well, I will. Wait, are you trying to provoke me?
Madame Tina's anger flared, but then a cunning glint appeared in her eyes. She hesitated, suspicion creeping in.
Ha ha ha, do you think you can fool me with that?
Zane Martel's lips curled into a smirk as he watched her struggle with her decision.
Is it because you're afraid I'll use the divine bow? Fine. I can promise you I won't use the divine bow. I'll use other methods.
Zane Martel's declaration sent a ripple of shock through the crowd. His confidence unwavering despite the odds.
I really didn't expect Zane Martel, who is only in the advanced level, would dare challenge someone in the expert level. It's even surprising that the person who wouldn't dare to accept the challenge would be Madame Tina.
I know I've really learned something today. There's someone in the expert level who's afraid of the advanced level, and she's one of the higher-ups of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance.
No wonder she agreed to such humiliating conditions in the last peace negotiation.
Those stinging comments reached Madame Tina's ears, fueling her fury. Even Ethan Wright and Ethan Gale exchanged looks of disappointment at Madame Tina's behavior. Suddenly, an idea sparked in Madame Tina's mind, her eyes narrowing with a new resolve.
Back then, Zane Martel nearly killed Albert using the divine bow he mentioned. Now that he has promised not to use the divine bow, I should have no problem fighting him. I refuse to believe I'd be afraid of a junior in the advanced level. Even if I can't kill him, I'll teach him a lesson. I'll let him understand the price to pay for crossing someone he shouldn't be crossing. All right, I accept the challenge. Zane Martel, you won't be as lucky as you were last time. You will not escape from me.
Madame Tina slowly floated over, stopping before Zane Martel, her eyes filled with determination and malice.
Really? Let's see if the person who escapes is you or me.
Without waiting for her reaction, Zane Martel unleashed the Thunderbolt Fist. The golden light of the attack blazed fiercely, the sheer force behind it shaking the ground. Madame Tina's laughter echoed as she watched the attack approach.
Ha ha ha! Are you trying to defeat me with such a lowly attack? Dream on.
She waved the dust in her hand, and with a swirl of white light, it transformed into 3 or 4 giant pythons in the sky, their mouths wide open, ready to strike. Madame Tina's strength was undeniable. Though she was likely at the first stage of the expert level, her power was formidable. The enormous white pythons, covered in glistening scales, crushed Zane Martel's attacks effortlessly before lunging towards him with terrifying speed.
Zane Martel, I will not kill you, but I will make you suffer so much you'll wish you were dead.
The pythons moved like lightning, their sharp fangs gleaming ominously as they closed in on Zane Martel, making the spectators shiver with dread.
No! Zane Martel!
Zane Martel, dodge.
The crowd's anxiety peaked as the pythons seemed inescapable at such close range.
It's useless. He could never dodge the attack at such a close distance.
What genius, what rare talent. In the face of absolute strength, Zane Martel can only die.
Madame Tina's laughter rang out, her victory seemingly assured.
Who said I was running away? Why should I run away?
Zane Martel's voice cut through the tension like a blade. As he spoke, a black sword shadow materialized in his hand, and he swung it with lightning speed. The sword's vigor soared into the sky, shaking the very air around them as it sliced through the oncoming threat. The clash of titans had begun, but the outcome was far from certain. Would Zane Martel's unexpected move turn the tide, or would Madame Tina's overwhelming power crush him? The air seemed to buzz with tension. A colossal sword energy, tens of meters long, swept over and sliced through the pythons in the sky. The force didn't slow down as it charged toward Madame Tina. The sword vigor emanating from Zane Martel's body made him resemble an ancient, indomitable beast. Many disciples of the Five Spirits sect secretly compared him to the legendary Sword King. What would they think if they knew the Sword King Gabriel Stone was actually by Zane Martel's side?
What, did Zane Martel really unleash such a powerful sword energy? That's impossible. How could he be so powerful?
Madame Tina's expression changed dramatically, and she quickly mustered all her strength to resist.
Stop it. Stop it.
She pressed her palms together, forming a bronze shield in front of her. Clang, clang, clang. The shield collided with the sword energy, creating a deafening sound of metal striking metal. Boom! In the end, Madame Tina's shield successfully blocked Zane Martel's sword energy. Zane Martel wasn't surprised. After all, he was only at the 6th stage of the martial spirit level. It was quite normal considering his opponent was in the expert level. However, this scene was astounding to everyone else. Zane Martel was only at the 6th stage of the martial spirit level. But Madame Tina, she was already in the expert level. This could only be possible if Zane Martel was incredibly powerful, or Madame Tina was exceedingly weak. But how could that be? Countless members of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance were dumbstruck, their eyes nearly popping out of their sockets. Once again, Zane Martel had done the unthinkable. Madame Tina was infuriated, humiliated by her loss to Zane Martel.
Zane Martel, I'll kill you.
The vital energy on Madame Tina's body surged. Suddenly, she flung her hand into the air, throwing out long silver needles. Each needle was infused with a bit of vital energy and Madame Tina's willpower. As soon as they appeared, she aimed their tips at Zane Martel. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Like a storm, the needles attacked Zane Martel, swift and violent, invisible to the naked eye.
Did you see that? No. The attack is too fast. I can't even see its shadow.
Not even a speck of dust escaped his sight. He could see each needle flying toward him from all directions.
There are 4 in front, 16 on the left, 7 on the right, 5 on the bottom, and 22 on the top.
Wind rose from nowhere. Zane Martel merged with the power of the wind, using the wind serpent step to dodge the flying needles completely. Some needles were even deflected by his sky-killing sword.
What?
Madame Tina was terrified. She never imagined this outcome. Her set of flying needles, made from unique materials, were supposed to be invisible to anyone without extraordinary vision and willpower. Otherwise, it was impossible to dodge the attack. As Madame Tina stood in shock, Zane Martel rushed forward with a sneer.
Are you trying to fight me in close combat? Do you think I'll let you succeed?
Do you have a choice?
I always have a choice.
Zane Martel pressed his finger to his mysterious vertical eye. With a thought, a black light column shot out. It appeared so fast that Madame Tina was hit before she could react. An unbelievable scene unfolded. With Madame Tina at the center, everything within a 1-meter radius lost its color and turned black and white. Madame Tina hovered in the air, unable to move. In this space, Zane Martel was the only person unaffected by the sudden black and white environment, the only one who could move. This attack was the unique martial art of his mysterious vertical pupils, the colorless world. Everything in the colorless world, including time, would stop, except for Zane Martel. He didn't know which enemies were most vulnerable under this attack. Perhaps those too far from his level wouldn't be affected. But it was enough to deal with someone in the expert level.
Madame Tina, today, let's settle all our past grudges. Kill.
Zane Martel let out a loud roar. Surging vital energy infused his sky-killing sword as he struck down. The extremely sharp sword energy pierced through Madame Tina's body, shattering her skull and exiting through her foot. With a peft sound, Madame Tina was cut in half, blood flying everywhere. Time in the colorless world resumed, and everything returned to normal.
Ah, look, what happened?
When they saw Zane Martel had killed Madame Tina, they were utterly confused and horrified. 1 second ago, Zane Martel was charging at Madame Tina. The next, she was in pieces. What happened in between? Why did it feel like something was missing?
Did I somehow lose my memory? What happened?
If you lost your memory, then I must have lost mine too.
The crowd was in disbelief. A little white snake's martial spirit emerged from Madame Tina's body. It was Madame Tina's martial spirit. Her face was full of resentment. She looked at Zane Martel with a terrified gaze, her body trembling. She didn't understand what had happened. In the blink of an eye, Madame Tina had lost her physical body.
Zane Martel! Zane Martel, you destroyed my physical body! I will kill you!
She roared angrily, her heart filled with fury. A dignified higher-up of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, defeated by a junior in the martial spirit level. Moreover, the junior was once a disciple of the Five Spirits sect. If this got out, Madame Tina would lose her dignity, and the Five Spirits sect status would plummet.
What will you do? Kill me? Come on.
Zane Martel crooked his finger at her. Madame Tina was stunned. She was afraid. If she couldn't match Zane Martel at her peak, fighting him now would be suicide. Zane Martel flew toward her slowly.
You don't come near me.
But Zane Martel didn't stop. He continued to advance. Finally, Ethan Wright, the leader of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, spoke up.
Wait, Zane Martel. You won. Stop. We can make way for you, but you must promise not to betray us. Otherwise, our armies will fight you to the death.
Sure, deal.
Zane Martel had achieved his goal. Moreover, he had defeated Madame Tina. It felt incredibly satisfying.
Disciples of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, listen up. Make way for them.
As the crowd parted, a sense of suspense hung in the air. What would come next for Zane Martel and his newfound dominance? With Ethan Wright's command, the leader of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, and Zane Martel's astonishing display of strength, no one in the Seven Kingdoms Alliance dared to disobey. They retreated to the sides, making way for the Dark Wolf Army to advance into the valley. Zane Martel turned around and addressed the Dark Wolf Army behind him.
Let's set off now.
Soon, Zane Martel returned to the flying shuttle. They slowly advanced alongside the other flying shuttles, with the 100,000-strong Dark Wolf Army moving on the ground. On the shuttle, everyone viewed Zane Martel in a whole new light. They had always known he was strong, but now his strength seemed almost unreasonable.
Young Master Zane, I knew you could do it.
Smiling, Bo Thompson stood up from her seat and walked up to him. At the same time, Elora also trotted up, both arriving in front of Zane Martel almost simultaneously, causing him to feel a bit flustered.
It's good that we can pass through the valley without sacrificing anyone, but we can't let down our guard for whatever comes next.
The others nodded in agreement, smiles of relief and happiness spreading among them as they realized they had successfully passed through the valley. However, Gabriel Stone had a grim expression, deep in thought. Just moments ago, Zane Martel had used the colorless world to abruptly destroy Madame Longing's physical body. Many did not understand what had happened. They assumed Zane Martel's speed was simply too fast. Even Gabriel Stone, a former expert of the Martial King level, couldn't comprehend Zane Martel's attack.
Unless Zane Martel's speed is terrifyingly fast, it must be because he has mastered some extraordinary martial arts.
The Dark Wolf Army slowly made their way through the valley, with the Seven Kingdoms Alliance keeping a watchful eye from the sides and behind, wary of any potential trickery. The valley was long, stretching hundreds of kilometers, and it took them almost a day and a night to cross it. To avoid further delays, the Dark Wolf Army continued their march without rest. After a grueling day and night, they finally arrived at the entrance of the Outraged Spirits Mountains. Unlike the valley, the Outraged Spirits Mountains were teeming with life. Ancient trees, lush green grass, and a vitality that was almost palpable. The air was thick with vital energy. several times more abundant than in ordinary environments. Zane Martel recalled his earlier visit to the outskirts of these mountains when he was still at the Foundation level. Back then, he dared not absorb the violent vital energy, fearing his body couldn't handle it.
Things are different now. Even if I absorb and refine the vital energy in large amounts, I'll be fine.
On the outskirts, several Foundation-level demonic beasts appeared. However, upon seeing the might of the Dark Wolf Army and the Seven Kingdoms Alliance's overwhelming killing intent, the beasts fled in terror.
Everyone, there's no need to accompany us anymore. You can stop here.
Ethan Wright, the chief of the Alliance, responded with a solemn look.
We're worried, and we will leave once we see you enter the Outraged Spirits Mountains.
After a brief rest, the Dark Wolf Army set off again, heading towards the heart of the Spirits Mountains. This place was known for its dangers throughout the Yarrow Kingdom and the entire Seven Kingdoms Alliance. Zane Martel had only ventured to the outskirts before, as rumors spoke of terrifyingly powerful demonic beasts lurking deeper within. Now, he was about to find out the truth. As they ventured deeper, the atmosphere grew thicker with anticipation. The vibrant vital energy swirled around them, and the ancient forest seemed to whisper secrets of the unknown dangers ahead. What awaited them in the core of the Outraged Spirits Mountains? Would Zane Martel's strength be enough to face the terrifying beasts rumored to dwell there? The answers lay hidden in the depths of the mountains, waiting to be uncovered. The rumors about the powerful demonic beasts coming from the northern demon country seemed all too real. The outer layer of the Outraged Spirits Mountains was vast, even larger than the entire territory of the Seven Kingdoms Alliance. The routes inside were intricate and confusing. Without a guide, one could wander for months and still be lost. They soon found the shortcut he mentioned. After traveling for 2 days and nights, the army took their first break. On the fourth day, they finally passed through the outer layer and entered the middle layer. Here, the roars of ferocious demonic beasts echoed endlessly.
Everyone pay attention. A group of griffins is flying toward us, 10 kilometers ahead. There are about 50 of them.
Swoosh. A dense group of griffin demons flew over, each one above the first stage of the advanced level.
Kill.
Dozens of soldiers flew out from the shuttles, engaging the griffins in fierce combat. These members of the demon clan were born to fight, brave and skilled. In just a dozen minutes, they had slain all the griffins.
Let's keep moving ahead.
A day and a night later, a fifth-stage advanced-level snake demon attempted to ambush the troop. Angered, Owen Brooks tore the snake demon in half and threw its corpse away. Zane Martel quickly devoured all the blood energy from the snake demon's corpse. 2 days later, they encountered another enemy force of 100,000. This time, a swarm of densely packed insects. Although the insects' attacks weren't strong, their sheer numbers hindered the Dark Wolf Army's advance.
Damn it. Hurry up and think of a way or we will be dragged here.
No way there are too many bugs. It's easy to kill them, but there's just too many to handle all at once.
Since they're insects, let's dispatch insects to take care of them.
He waved a hand, releasing 30,000 verdant frogs. The fierce battle between the insect clouds began, and soon the ground was littered with the corpses of the enemy insects. In less than half an hour, the swarm was completely annihilated. The scene left many in shock. Demonic insects were notoriously hard to exterminate due to their high reproduction speed. In massive groups, they could devour entire cities, consuming everything in their path. After dealing with the demonic insects, the troop continued their march forward. On the fourth day of traversing the middle layer, they finally reached the core area. The scene in the core region was nothing like what Zane Martel had imagined. He had expected a perilous zone, teeming with demonic beasts ready to attack at any moment. But instead, the surroundings were peaceful and quiet. Not far away, a towering snow mountain rose thousands of meters into the sky. Its middle section was hollowed out, revealing a wide, open plain at its base. At the foot of the mountain stood an ordinary tile house, looking strangely out of place in this serene setting. Creak. The door of the tile house opened, and a strange creature, half human and half monkey, stepped out. It looked like a member of the Demon Clan, much like Gavin Owens and the others. What was this creature? What secrets did the core of the Outraged Spirits Mountains hold?